Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to my second live. So, in these lives, we basically talk about topics and matters related to education in Algeria in general and English language education in particular. And in today's live, we're going to talk about the topic of the integration and incorporation of AI technology in education. And I'm joined by my guest, Mr. Jalul Bourahla. So basically, Mr. Jalul Borhla is an experienced English teacher and teacher of literature at the University of Wurkla. He used to be the head of the English department there, and now he is currently a researcher. He investigates the role of AI in the classroom, in education and learning in general. So, Mr. Borhla, thank you so much for joining me.
Hello,
There you are.
Anis. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for accepting the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So maybe you can add something about yourself, add something to the introduction.
Well, the most important thing I think that I'll say about myself is that I am a lifelong learner and a student, especially a student of English forever. This is a very exciting field, teaching and learning English. And I'm always excited when I'm teaching because at the same time I'm learning. So, yeah, if there was something I would add about myself, that would be that.
All right, excellent. Okay, so like I said before, we're going to talk about the topic of AI, artificial intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
and its use in the field of education. So basically, the live is going to be divided into three parts. In the first part, we'll look at the significance of AI for teachers. In the second part, we'll look at its significance for students. And in the final part, we'll examine, some of the challenges that AI involves. All right. So, are you ready? Ready for the
Yeah,
questions?
yeah, please,
Excellent.
let's go.
So,
Let's do
yep,
this.
good. So, we're going to start with the first part. And the first question is I'd like you to discuss basically the impact that AI is currently having on teachers in Algeria and how this impact is going to evolve in the future.
Thank you for that question. That's an excellent question. And I think that AI now has been around for a year and a half, basically, around the world and even in Algeria, because when it hit globally. So basically, we were not late to the show. This is something wonderful.
Hmm.
As soon as ChatGPT, which is the application, of course, that now everybody knows and that really was the cause of this AI boom, as we call it now. As soon as ChatGPT was launched by the end of 2022, the beginning of 2023, many Algerians, of course, from different sectors, educational backgrounds, um, young adults, and even older ones were very, very interested in this technology. And
Hmm.
then now you can see that AI is becoming mainstream. Is becoming mainstream in the sense that it is used by different people from different sectors of different ages, and specifically, of course, in education, and that's something good in
Hmm.
education, and specifically again in the teaching and learning of foreign languages, and again specifically in the teaching and learning of English. And so English language teachers, I think, were one of the first people to really jump into the use of AI
Yeah.
for. preparing. Yeah, we were the first, but um, something good about the AI, of course, especially for ChatGPT, for example, which
Mhm.
again is main AI application that's been around. Something about AI, or at least generative AI, is that it is very good and very powerful in the English language. It's not yet that powerful, for example, in Arabic,
Mhm.
which of course can be open to debate, and that has causes. But it's very powerful in English, and so the first people who were in Algeria who were able to reap out the benefits of this were people, of course, who are proficient in the English language. And who
Mhm.
else is better proficient in the English language than the teachers of the English language and the learners, not particularly students, but those who are interested in the English language as a language to learn, of course. And so, yeah, I think by now in education and in English language teaching and learning, AI has its important place, and you can the presence of AI, in other words, is pretty much felt, um, not only month after month, but really week
Mhm.
after week. You see now teachers using AI to prepare their lessons. You see
Mhm.
teachers now using AI to even help them prepare their exams, which, by the way, is not a bad thing. It is a good thing. Some
Mhm.
people would say, "Yeah, we are using AI to prepare exams." Yeah, if you know how to use it. And so I have felt that personally since like a year ago, I think I've given my first workshop on AI. You were there, Anis.
Of the
Again, thank you
ESL
for
conference in Iran, yeah,
Adi in
I do
Oran,
remember.
and and the interest was like huge.
Huge, exactly, yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's that's something very um, very exciting, and at the same time, it means that this field of teaching and learning English is very dynamic.
Mhm.
It of course, it's not so much about trends, but it's so much about what are the most effective ways in which we can enhance the teaching and the learning of the language. And this is
Mhm.
why I'm personally very interested in this field. And this is why I
Mhm.
started with saying that I am a person who is a lifelong learner, because
Yeah,
I believe our field, yours and mine, teaching English and the business of learning English, of course, is ever evolving. And so, yeah, very excited about
yeah,
the opportunities and the
that's right.
possibilities.
Exactly. So that's very interesting. You're saying that AI is primarily available in English, right?
Mhm.
So a good mastery of the language will help individuals better use this type of technology. Do
Yeah.
you have any statistics? Like, do you have like a percentage to illustrate the weight that English carries in terms of AI use?
No, top of my head, no. I don't have
Mm.
any statistics, but it's very easy to see that, because the first question that we should ask ourselves is, ChatGPT, uh, what is the origin? Which country does it come from? The United States.
It makes sense.
Where
Yeah.
in the United States? From California.
Mm.
How has it been trained? By injecting millions and millions of information from the internet. The
Mhm.
internet information and data. The internet is in the majority of it. What is the internet? The internet, the majority of the internet is information, data, books written in English.
Mhm.
So I guess it's that. Lately, for example, we know now that OpenAI, for example, to train its AI models, they have used um, transcripts of YouTube videos. If you look at YouTube again, it's basically made up of videos in English.
That's true.
I mean, the majority. So then that's one way of looking at the thing. Another way of looking at it is um, the output, the quality of the output. You compare the quality of the output of these generative AI models, whether we are talking about ChatGPT or Claude AI, which is by the company Anthropic AI, and which is a very important model. You look at what we the the one by Google that was formerly known as Bard, and what's his name now? Bard. What's the name of Bard now? The one by Google.
Mm.
Do you remember what's his name now?
You're the
Bard.
expert. You're the
I'm
expert.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Maybe we can
remember
check.
what
Yeah.
was the name. What is now the name of the one by Google? Um, it will come back to me.
Mm.
So Bard, which Gemini, yeah, that's it, Gemini. Gemini, which is the AI model by Google, is yet another competitor of ChatGPT. So we basically have three key players. We have Gemini, ChatGPT, and Claude AI. These are the three key players
Mm.
in the generative AI game. So these three, when you test them and you ask them a question, for example, in the three languages that I know, which are English, French, and Arabic, if you ask them the same question in these three languages, the best uh, answer would always be in English. The best in
Mm.
terms of quality and in terms of quantity. That is,
That's
the
interesting. So
output
you've done the
is
comparison.
always,
Mm.
yeah, is always better in that. Now, if
Mm.
you also read the reviews by those who master or are proficient in more than these three languages, they all say, of course, that the output in terms of quantity and quality is always better in English.
Yeah.
I'm sure by now, of course, there are statistics about this, but of course, we can just make a deduction game, and
Mm.
we have all the arguments that say that English is the dominant and will remain the dominant language in the AI
Mm.
industry.
Exactly. So yeah, it's a good chance for us to remind our audience of the importance of English, right?
Exactly, and this
Yeah.
is what they are saying in the future. If you look at um, those who study computer science, one of the main thing that they study is coding,
Mm.
and coding now because of AI, because of AI, coding now hasn't become a very um, sought after specialty in computer science,
Hmm.
because coding can be done by generative AI.
I
And
see.
so those who I know, some people at least who were interested in coding, and now they are not interested in coding because generative AI now can do that. So at least in the midterm, that is in the next 5 years, generative AI is going to be become better, of course, in coding. And
Mm.
so this is why some people are saying that the language of coding in the future is English. That is
Hmm.
the language itself. If you
Okay.
know the language, you can in the future become a coder, which is
Hmm.
not really to write code, but
Hmm.
just to be able to write prompts.
All
And
right.
so this is why right now, what we call prompt engineering, that is the ability to talk to AI, is becoming the sought after skill. That is, there are many people who are taking courses of how to talk to AI, how to best get the best results from AI. So the people are learning how to do that, and there are many, of course, not yet universities, but there are many institutions that are offering, of course, courses in prompt engineering, that is how to write prompts for the AI. And of course, eventually, there are going to be jobs involving uh, prompt engineers, that is people who can, as AI will become more and more developed in the future, you will need someone in your company who can communicate with AI in the most effective way. And
Necessarily. Yeah.
that is through using English.
All right. Excellent. So you mentioned ChatGPT, which of course everybody knows, right? Can you just briefly run us through other AI tools that teachers in general use and English teachers in particular?
Yeah, I was talking earlier. Generative AI is pretty much the same. Uh, I said that there are three key players: um, Google by Gemini by Google, Claude AI by Anthropic,
Hmm.
and ChatGPT. So these are the three main key players in the generative AI sphere. Now, out of these, there are many tools right now that can help teachers, of course, prepare lessons, and especially um, kind of supplement their lessons. Now, the generative AI, we have to remember that generative AI is first text. So
Hmm.
if you wanted to create a story, if you wanted to create, for example, an exam, a test, a quiz, generative AI is excellent.
Okay.
But also, we have to remember that AI is more than that. AI also is generating images. And
Hmm.
generating images, I think, is a very powerful tool for teachers. There is
Hmm.
DALI. DALI is by the same company as ChatGPT, by OpenAI, DALI 3, which helps, of course, teachers to create images. But there is, DALI can be limited because it's not totally free, but you can use the free one by Microsoft. So Microsoft has one integrated into its browser called Edge. So Edge can help you create images. I think it's very powerful and very good. There is also all the, and I think that these are just wonderful for learning the language and can be used by teachers, which are all the applications and websites that can turn text to voice or text to speech. And these are getting more and more powerful every day, in the sense that what I mean by powerful, they are getting more and more natural every day. So you don't have, if, for example, if you have a reading session, you don't have to read the text to yourself. You can just give the text to the AI, and it's going to read it um, in the voice of a native speaker, in the voice of an old man, a young man, a man,
Mm.
a woman, a young child,
That's
wherever.
incredible. It's amazing.
That is very useful. There is
Yeah.
also turning speech or turning speech to text. I think that this is very powerful as well. Speech to text or audio to text is very powerful as well. I use AI tools that turn YouTube videos into transcripts. That is, it
Hmm.
gives me all the transcript of the video,
I
and
do that
then
sometimes too. Yeah, it's very
yeah,
helpful.
and then I take that transcript, put it into ChatGPT, and ask it, for example, to just make a quiz out
Hmm.
of the transcript. And then I tell my students to watch the video and answer the quiz made by AI. Of course, that I you have to read it and to make sure that it is there are no mistakes there and everything, and then you give them the quiz, of course, about the video. This is very helpful because otherwise you are going to spend like hours and hours preparing the quiz. Now you can do it in a minute. So that
Yeah.
is very helpful and very powerful, and I've been using it um, for a year now. And I mean, it's for me as a teacher, it's really a life changing experience because it, you know, why use AI? Some people say, and I don't understand this argument. Some people say, yeah, it makes teachers lazy, and I don't understand this argument. Like, I don't even like, um, I have no understanding. I have no empathy towards this kind of argument because I just can't fathom how AI is making me lazy. It is making me
More
personally
efficient.
more efficient, but
Yeah.
more
Exactly.
productive in a sense that I am doing things that normally take a month. I am doing them in 5 minutes, and I can
That's
do
absolutely true.
more, do more in the classroom, outside the classroom. I can do more really in many different ways. It's like having an assistant. There are people who pay money to have an assistant or assistants with an S. Now, now that we teachers mm, who are generally not very well paid, we have an assistant for free. They want to, they want us to like uh, uh, pass this. Just they say no, just pass it. Yeah, yeah, just continue to be miserable, preparing your lessons all night and preparing the quizzes, and so that you don't become lazy. So I really don't understand this.
Yeah.
So yeah, these were some of the tools that I can think of.
All right. Excellent. So you've just demonstrated the huge, the enormous benefit that AI can bring, right?
Mhm.
Now there is a big concern.
Yeah.
The concern that a lot of teachers out there have, which is they are scared that AI will eventually replace them. Now the question is, do you think that will ever happen?
Ever?
Yeah.
You
In
mean
the
ever like in a thousand? You mean ever like in a thousand years?
near near or distant future.
It depends what you mean by distant future.
Okay, let's say
What do you mean by distant
near.
future? Do you mean do you mean 2000 years?
No,
2000,
I
let's say
mean
2000 years.
no, not that far, not that far. Let's
Not
say
that far.
near future would be like, let's say 2 to 3 years from now. Distant
No,
future, probably
no, no,
10 to
no, no,
15 years.
no, 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 no,
That's too soon, right?
no, 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 no. It can't. No. If we talk about 3 years, if we talk about 100 years, no,
Hmm.
that can't. Even 100 years, no, I don't think
Okay,
so. And
that's reassuring.
Yeah, it can. And in our lifetime, inshallah,
Mm.
in our lifetime, me and you will not see that happen. We'll see AI becoming more efficient
Hmm.
and better at assisting
I,
teachers.
I see.
So the future looks bright for us. It
Hmm.
is um, in in the words
Hmm.
of those who are against AI, we are going to become lazier.
Okay.
In their words, but which means for us that we are going to become more productive,
Yeah.
more efficient,
Hopefully.
uh, more focused.
Hmm.
This is what it means for us.
Okay.
And our classrooms are going to become more dynamic,
Hmm.
and definitely our learners are going to learn definitely more.
More. Okay.
I'm I'm
Perfect.
I'm pretty sure about that. I mean, we have, I think, seen some of that in the two couple weeks
Hmm.
ago.
Okay.
In the far future,
Maybe.
I think so.
Perhaps. It could
Yeah.
happen. All right. Perfect. So, as you already know, a lot of people out there are still hesitant to use AI, right? Now, the question is, what do you say to those teachers who are still reluctant to use AI in the classroom or in their work? What do you say to them?
I say to them, I totally understand.
Mm.
Um,
Thanks for showing empathy and compassion.
the reluctance is very important.
Hmm.
We have to take there is always a spectrum in new technology. There's always a
Hmm.
spectrum. The spectrum is the following: there are the
Hmm.
early adopters. These are the same people who adopted mobile phones early, for
Or the
example,
internet,
or
right?
the
Back in the
internet,
90s. Yeah.
or laptops, or whatever. These are the early adopters. They are always enthusiastic, optimistic, etc. There are then the skeptics who would say either this is too fast, this is too overwhelming,
Hmm.
or this is too risky.
Hmm.
And I think concerning AI, the people who are saying that are completely right. It is too fast, it is too risky, and it is too overwhelming.
Hmm.
So I think that those people who are still reluctant will make a balance in kind of telling the early adopters, be careful. You have to look at this in a very critical way and not take it as it is. And we are starting already to see some of the risks and disadvantages
Hmm.
and negative aspects of using AI.
So we'll
In
talk
the
about
same
those in the
way,
third part. Yeah.
yeah, but then it shows you already that those who are reluctant are
They're reluctant
completely
for a reason, basically, right?
they are for a reason, and we
Yeah.
should listen to them. Should not
Hmm.
like say, well, you are too backward and you
Mm.
don't want innovation, and that kind of discourse is not positive. First, it is exclusion, and we
It's
shouldn't
counterproductive.
exclude. Yeah, it counterproductive, and it's exclusion, and we shouldn't exclude people in education. Should
That's
listen
true.
to each other. So this debate
Yeah.
is very important, I think.
Mm.
And I say, I totally understand. You should be like reluctant, but at the same time, you should experiment a little bit with
Mm.
different ways in which you can use this at a personal level first and see, with a small group of your learners and see ways in which you can adapt this to your own teaching and learning and classroom for your learners, of
That's
course.
right.
So
Okay.
all I say is
Mhm.
just be open to the possibilities. That's all.
So you're basically telling them to take their time, right? However, considering the fact that the technology is moving fast, right?
Mhm.
Don't you think they have to join the trend? The sooner the better. Otherwise, they'd be left behind, right? What do you think?
Mm. I don't know how to answer that question actually, because it's a leap of faith. You know,
Hmm.
you are asking people to just let's go and see, which is basically what AI is about. AI is about, okay, let's take this to the extreme and see how it ends at the end of the road, which nobody knows.
No,
Some
that's
people
true.
are already saying that AI in the future, we were asking if AI is going to replace teachers. Well, people are already asking if AI is going to kill us. So, I mean, if we are not alive in 2000 years as a human species, that would be because you and me have encouraged people to
Ah,
just go forward and take this. I hear
nah, I want to
sometimes,
take that responsibility.
so we don't, right? I
Yeah.
now sometimes I see some not papers, but I see some what the conferences, and the title of the conference is embracing AI.
Mm,
I don't know about embracing, like
mm,
just go ahead and say that it's all. Yeah, because you have to wait a little bit. This is too fast.
that's true.
This is perhaps something that we need to assess the dangers and the negative side, and be careful a little bit. And as I told you, that already there are things that are not very not very positive after 1 year and a half.
Mm, good, good. Well, I really love your approach. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Okay, so we're going to take a short break before we move on to the next part, okay?
Okay.
If I could travel anywhere, I would go to South America. Could is in the past. Does it mean that the whole sentence is in the past too? No, it doesn't. It simply means that the situation is unreal. I can't travel, and I'm not going to South America. In fact, I wish I went to South America. Also, note that in spoken English we say, if I could travel anywhere, I'd go to South America.
There's 500 extra dollars in my account.
Keep it.
It's not mine. I didn't earn it. If I kept it, it would be like stealing.
How about you? Where would you go if you could travel anywhere? All right. Welcome back, everybody. And welcome back, Mr. Borahla Jalul. So,
Hey.
to remind our audience, we're basically examining the role of AI, artificial intelligence, in education. So, turning to the second part, so we're gonna look at the significance of AI for students. And the first question for you is, how is AI helping students in their language learning?
I think that um, it is helping them a lot in terms of interacting in writing first. And this is something I think that is overlooked generally, because people say, well, we go directly to the negative, which is, of course, something that we can talk about. later on concerning cheating, for example, and all of these problems. I see that. But first of all, it ChatGPT, for example, which is the main vehicle of AI right now, and which is the one used by everybody. ChatGPT ChatGPT is a chatbot.
Mm-hmm.
So you are going to chat. If you are going to chat, you need to produce, right? You need to produce something. So you need to write. And now ChatGPT, you can talk to it, I mean, with voice. But let's stay with the writing for now. So you need to write. So if you need to write, you are writing something, you are trying to produce language in English. That's already good. That's already a win for teachers, for the learner. That's already a win. Then the chatbot is going to respond to you. When the chatbot responds to you, if you want to respond wherever you are looking for, you need to read.
Mm-hmm.
That's already a win. I mean, if my student is interacting with ChatGPT once a day, writing and reading, I mean, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
um, Outside the classroom, by the way. This is not inside the classroom. They are doing it
Mm-hmm.
themselves. So,
Mm-hmm.
right now, to fact check, to find something, to look for a word, now students, I see them using ChatGPT, um, writing, and then they come up with an answer, and then they can right now I have a module at the university called ICT, which is information communication technology, and which is in the context of the university, it is how to use technology to learn, or
Mm-hmm.
ed tech as we call it, education and technology.
Yeah.
And we had I think three three or four 3 or 4 weeks about artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
They were very excited about this and very responsive, and of course I've allowed them to use their phones inside the classroom to know to use ChatGPT or other AI chatbots. And I think that the way they use them is definitely going to enhance their learning
Learning.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
And they are digital natives, so this comes natural to them. This is not something that they are really would immigrate to, like older learners. You have to show them how to download and how to use and how to talk to the chatbot. No, this is something that they do naturally. And
Mm-hmm.
even if they have a question, like earlier I was asking myself, what's the name of the chatbot made by Google? Now, if I was in the classroom and the student put that into ChatGPT and then told me the name is Gemini, I mean, why would I be offended? I wouldn't. I shouldn't. This is how education is changing in the future. And I think
Yeah.
that young people, of course, have an early jump in this, and for them, of course, now they are using it to interact with voice, to listen to, of course, to listen to the audio, uh, text to speech. So yeah, it's I think improving their writing, their reading, their listening, and their speaking. The 4 skills.
Mhm.
So
That's true. Yeah. You were talking about students using AI outside the classroom, right? I think it's a very interesting point because I think that teachers should insist on their students using AI because it really encourages self study, right?
yeah, definitely. And the other thing, that I'm sure is already happening. We encourage them, whether we encourage them or not, they are going to use AI.
Hmm.
That's how young people just do things. That's they are part of, this is part of their world more than part of the world of older citizens, big like teachers, because this is for them something new, innovative, so they are going to adopt that. Now the question is, and this is my concern is not so much are they going to download chat gpt and use it or not. My concern is, are they going to use it in the right way? That's
Hmm.
my concern, and
Yep.
that's our role as teachers. Now whether we encourage them or not, I don't think that this is relevant, because they are going to use them anyway. This
Hmm.
is beyond our, like social media, for example.
Uh-huh.
Are you going to convince a child? Now I don't say a student or a young,
Yeah.
a child in
Yeah.
who is 6, are you going to convince him or her of downloading and watching TikTok? No.
I love
This
that
is just,
analogy.
this is
That's a
just
very
part
good
of
analogy.
who
Yep.
they are.
Couldn't agree
So
more.
the question then becomes, how do you use whatever technology in the right way, the right way being the ethical way
Hmm.
first, so that you don't use it to fill in the gaps negative, the efficient way that can help you improve whatever skills, language, knowledge you have. And the third part, of course, is in order to connect with other human beings. Because we have to remember, technology is isolating people. It is. It is isolating people. This is why I love podcast and I love this live, because it helps us hear this podcast or live or another one, connect you and me, Anis and Jalul, and Anis and Jalul with other people, and so that's how we make technology, um, make technology the best way to connect people. But if it's going to isolate people and make them not talk to each other, not have a debate, then I'm not for this. I really don't like it.
Okay. Excellent. Now let's move on to the third and final part. So we're going to talk a little bit about the challenges that AI involves. But before that, let's do a quiz. I guess you know
Yeah.
what the quiz is all about, right?
Let's do it. I don't know the questions, but the quiz. Let's go.
All right. Excellent. Okay. So basically, I'll be firing quick questions at you, and you'll have to
Okay.
respond as
If I
quickly as
get
you can.
if I get a zero, if I get a zero, then that would mean that AI is not helping me. So
No, don't worry. The quiz is not scored. It's not going to be scored. Don't worry. All right. So ready?
yep.
The last thing you do at the end of the day, right before you go to bed.
Watch TV.
Your favorite non-Algerian dish.
Not Algeria. Steak.
Okay. Your favorite pastime.
Reading. Definitely reading.
Okay. Someone you look up to.
Many people I look up to. Someone I look up to. Many people, really.
Just one
Okay.
person.
Just one person.
Just one person. Maybe a family member, a friend. I don't
Family
know.
member, a friend. My brother.
Your brother. Okay. The worst piece of advice you've ever received.
Um, the worst piece of advice I've ever received. Um,
What would that be?
fo- follow your passion.
Follow your passion. Okay.
That has
It
to
doesn't
be
sound bad.
explained. No,
Yeah.
that has to be explained.
But that's
But
all right. You don't have. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to.
yeah,
No need.
yeah, I'm just saying that
Yeah.
has to be explained. But follow your passion.
All right. The strangest thing you've ever seen on public transportation.
The strangest thing.
Yep. On public transportation.
Um, um, I I think someone. I was in Algiers train. Someone snatched like a necklace to a golden necklace to a young lady. That was
Oh wow.
strange because that was the first time I've seen that. Yeah, it
Okay.
was so violent.
Yeah. The kind of job you would do if you were not a teacher or a researcher.
A translator.
Okay. If you could change anything about your past, what would it be?
That's a difficult one. Um, Loving cats.
Okay.
Because
Fair
I
enough.
still love cats. Yeah.
Okay. One thing you wouldn't want AI to do.
Replace teachers.
Okay. And the last one thing you hate about Wurgla.
Oh, there's nothing I hate about work. That some people would say the heat, but the heat is part of the experience. So no, I don't think
Okay.
so. One thing I hate about Wergla is not being in Wergla.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
That's a good question.
All right. Well done. Pass.
That's good. Good for me.
Okay. Now we come to the final part of the live. And like I said before, we're going to be examining the challenges of the integration and incorporation of AI in education and learning. Okay, so not just the ethical challenges, I also want you to touch upon the cultural challenges as well.
The cultural are very important, I think, and there is a big problem, and the problem is the following. Some people talk about how AI hallucinates. Some other people talk about how it makes mistakes, and all of these are okay. I understand these are problems, but they are
Mhm,
not very big problems if you compare them to the cultural aspect of AI, which is the following.
mhm,
AI is being trained in the United States.
mhm,
It's a different country, a
mhm.
different culture that has different principles and
Different
different
values.
values, different everything.
That's true.
These texts, these videos, the data that it's being trained on is Western data. Western data. It's
Mhm,
not Arab. It's
mhm. Or
not in
Asian.
Arabic. It's not um, um, belonging to the south. When I say
Mhm.
the south, I mean the south hemisphere.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have the values of the non-Western countries and
Mhm.
cultures. AI, wherever you ask it, is going to respond from that point of view because this is how it is trained.
Mm,
So, this is creating a digital gap. And the digital gap is that the more it is trained elsewhere, the more we use it, the more we are being colonized.
yeah. Yeah, that's very interesting and very intriguing at the same time.
I lost you there.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
What
just
did you
saying that
say?
it was interesting. It was very intriguing. So, another question here. So you're talking about those big players in the Silicon Valley in California, right? So as those players work on developing AI, so you're telling me that they're not really factoring in those cultural considerations, right?
They are not going to do that.
Okay. Do you think that's a mistake?
They don't care.
They don't care.
They don't
Oh.
care. They don't care because you are of no concern to them. I mean, why
Mm.
would they care? You are just a consumer.
I mean, given the fact that
So
we live in a globalized world, right?
no, no,
Considering
no,
all
no.
those
That
interactions.
that is not how they look at this. They look at this
Mm.
in terms of dollars. That's it. They are
Business is business,
injecting
right?
billions of dollars, and so the fact that this they are looking at this as doing benefit to you, of course, and of course, the fact that you are going to be colonized by their culture or by their data is only because you are not producing anything, and so
Mm.
for them that's on you.
Okay.
So they are not going to, if we are as consumers, and
Mm.
that's the problem. We are consumers. We are just consuming
Mm.
these products.
Yep.
If we as consumers keep consuming, then there are consequences on our civilization and culture, and
Mm.
that those consequences are very dire consequences. Every day, we are becoming more reliant on these AI models that come from other countries, from overseas. Every day, every single day, we are giving up a little of who we are.
Mm. All right. Hence the last question: what can we do about that? What could be done about
Who?
it? What are the
Who?
solutions? I mean,
Who?
to counter, I mean, whether it comes from the United States or from somewhere else, right? Somebody needs to, do something about it. So, what are the solutions, in your opinion?
I don't know how to answer that question, number one. Number two, would I say, yeah, let's become the producers? That's the only solution. But
Mm.
is that realistic to say?
Mm.
100% no. Most of the AI, 90%, this I'm sure in terms of statistics, 90% of AI comes from the United States. The second is
Mhm.
China. Far third,
Mhm.
far third is Europe. And I say far third, that is,
Yeah,
it's participating 1%. Bearing in mind that Europe is already Western.
that's true.
So whether it takes from the United States, at least it is
Very
let's
similar.
say close in terms
Yeah.
of mentality and civilization, because it
Mhm.
is Western. But for us, I don't know if you are you know the word, the term backwater.
Yeah.
No,
What is that?
backwater.
No, what's that?
The backwater is a place in a very remote in the desert.
Hmm.
Naiya.
Okay.
That's the translation. So
Hmm.
the rest of the world is becoming um, technological backwater uh, in comparison to these countries
Hmm.
that are injecting really massive amounts of money into developing these technologies. And of course, I think, importantly, we don't stand a chance. So, in terms of solutions, I don't think that there is a solution to
It's
this.
hard to come up with solutions, right? Mm.
No, I
I
mean, it's
guess
very hard.
probably there should be some new attempts in other places outside the United States and China. That's probably the way forward.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean, do you see any company beating Google right now?
No,
Nah. I mean, everything is Google
that's
right
true.
now. For example, our
Hmm.
phones, Gmail, YouTube, uh, you name it. The internet is Google, and
Hmm.
so Microsoft. Everything is Microsoft. So it's going to be really very, and the problem is that with this AI thing, it is my only solution for me. I mean, for me, I always say, let's educate the young people on how to deal with these AI technologies so that they are aware of their dangers and they can reap out and only have the benefits, and
Hmm.
they can lessen the dangers and the risks.
I see.
That's all I can do as a
Hmm.
teacher of English in terms of and this is something that today, this is why when you told me let's talk about I came with that in mind. I am not going to celebrate AI like as something like which is 100% beneficial. I can't do that because it's not. But definitely, there are wonderful opportunities, but we have to be aware of the risks. And so,
Hmm.
to answer your question with the last sentence there, uh, develop critical thinking
Thinking,
when
yeah.
it comes to technology and when it comes to the use of AI. What is critical thinking? It is the ability to discern and differentiate between what is good and what is bad,
What is
what is
bad?
beneficial,
So
what
true.
is not ethical,
Yeah.
what is taking away your identity, and what
Hmm.
is helping you become a
A
better
better
person
person.
and
That's
who
true.
you are.
Exactly. All right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the American dominance is still here, and it's going to be really hard for us to challenge it, right? So, yeah.
What do you think? Let's finish this with you. What do you
What
think?
do I think? Well, I don't know. Like I said, it's going to be really hard to challenge it, but at least we
No,
need to.
in terms of AI, what do you think? Do you think that this is something that we can compete at any level? Do you think that there is a place for us as more
No,
than consumers?
no. I mean, no. Honestly, no. I don't think it's
Mhm.
it's going to happen anytime soon because the United States, we all know that the country is far ahead, and it's going to take probably decades, if not centuries, to even come close to it.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Anyway, we have come to the end of the live. Mr. Borahla Jalud, thank you so much. It was amazing. Well
oh, thank you
done.
so much. Thank you so
It
much.
was
Thank you
great,
for
and I would love to have you again.
inshallah.
Really.
Thank you so much. I
Please
really
don't say
enjoyed.
no.
No, never. I never say no to these.
Thank you.
Anything that would connect us as two people and connect us with other people, especially teachers of English and in English, then I'm very happy to do it again and again and again.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. Everybody, thank you for your attention and see you next time. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.